Hi there, it's Spramani, the art teacher in San Diego, and I want to pop in today really quick and talk about um, storybooks and art. Now, if you have or you haven't taken my free training, How to Theme Storybooks and Art, I talk about how I pair them together and I can teach literacy, I can teach art literacy, all combined, and even promote and get an activity going based on using storybooks. If you haven't taken that, I'll make sure that I put a link to where to take that. There's a few more weeks to take that for free, and soon it's going to be put back into my art training workshops where it won't be free. So make sure you take advantage of that and you watch it before it's not free. Anyway, so how do I do this? It's so fun. I wanted to show you some books and just kind of give you an idea of what I mean and why I love storybooks. So here's a fun, cute little chunky book, A Color of His Own. It's a really cute storybook, but I like to read stories like this to little children and get them really focusing and observing the shapes and the colors they see in the books. I'll talk about the different textures I see, the colors. This is a cute story about a chameleon who can change and he needs to figure out what color he wants. And then I'll follow up with some art element conversations. Like, for instance, if you want to know what an art element is, there's about 7 of them that you should be focusing on teaching in your lessons. And one of them is line. And you can see right here, there's lines in the chameleon's body texture. And there's black lines and red lines. There's some leaves that have lines. You can also focus on the values of green. So that's what I do is I read the fun stories and then I'll talk about the art and what they see and what they're observing. And I'll try to connect the elements. And then after that, I'll follow up with an art activity. Let me give you some other ideas. This is a classic. I love this. If you haven't seen on my Instagram and my Facebook, a couple years ago, I started posting socially on how I use this book. And I took this into schools across Vietnam and I read this and had it translated. And then we followed up with using a purple crayon and tempera paint sticks and have so many cute images of the kids just getting so excited. It's a classic. It's been around for a while. It's an old book. It's been around since the 50s. Here's another book that's been around for the 50s, but I was really surprised. I actually didn't read this to my kids when they were growing up. Little Blue and Little Yellow. This was actually published in the 50s, and this is such a cute story about how a blue dot hangs out with his little friend yellow dot, and then they turn green, and how he can't turn back his original color. But it's a cute story. It's got colors, it's got textures. It looks like it was all done with torn paper. I love the story. It's really sweet and cute. But of course, if you haven't realized, I take this into primary colors where I take primary yellow and primary blue, and I turn that into a secondary green, and just kind of the concept for kids to see. Really cute. Again, that's a classic book that you can find online. Here's a cute book called Press Here, and it's cute little dots. Now, why I focus on this one, this is a great book for a toddler just to kind of start talking about round shapes and dots and colors and the primary colors. Really basic, really fun. And then what I would do is follow up with maybe giving kids some dot stamper to stamp on paper, kind of mimicking the same elements that's focused in the book. Another favorite of mine is Eric Carle. I love Eric Carle books. All my books that I talk about, all my books that I write, I always use Eric Carle as one of my favorite techniques to teach of illustrators and how he illustrated the books. But this book is fun. It's got little flaps. It's got colors. It's got the words. This is great. It's got rich, bright colors in it. Another classic, of course, if you've seen this. Now, if you haven't seen, you can go check my Instagram, and I've been sharing this book stage in a shelf. I'll be sharing that this week, but this is a classic. It's been around for a long time, and it's got some fun artwork that you can share with the kids, and then you can have them either paint in red or paint in yellow or paint in green or blue, and let them mix their primary. So that's what I was wanting to come in to share with you, and how I love to use storybooks. Now, that the training that I'm offering talks a little bit more about different books, but I have a new training coming out that I'm going to be inviting everyone to in later this spring, and I hope you have a chance to check it out. Now, if you want to know more about getting your students and your children, doing more artwork and what are these elements, well, don't forget I have art guides that you can buy. I have an early childhood guide. I have an elementary guide that just came out, all illustrated with great information. Goes in depth on, environment, setup, staging, materials, my favorite key lessons. I even have that in a regular pedagogy public school version, Montessori version. So lots of resources for you to check out. I hope you try them out. But think about that. You probably have a stack of books at home that you don't even realize you can use to teach art and get kids inspired. I think that once you understand what the elements are and the art literacy and the focus of what an art programming is, it'll be easier for you to talk about these things and kind of inspire your children to get started. All right. Well, I hope that helps out and love to hear your feedback on all the newsletter information that's coming out. I will be heading to Poland in a couple weeks, and I'll be training teachers in Poland at one of the local big conferences they hold out there. And then I'll be in Portland in April. At the end of April, I'll be at an early childhood conference up there in Bend, Oregon. If you are anywhere in those areas, love for you to join me at some of those conferences. I'll be speaking at, I'll be talking about STEM and STEAM in early childhood and sharing all my wonderful ideas. All right. Well, take care, my friends. Bye.